Today I only got 2 eggs, full cup of oats, 60 grams of peanut butter. So it's a sad breakfast today, but have to go to the store. Sunlight in my eyes every single day. I was totally depleted of energy today, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I've been averaging like 22,000 steps a day over the last 2 weeks or so, which that's a lot. And those are brisk walks, which is, similar to jogging. It's more strenuous than walking at a leisurely pace. And I was just so drained, and I went and laid on the couch and passed out, and was not hopeful for the day. I was thinking, you know what, I'll just call this a rest day, take it easy. But then I was like, no, I got to get out of the apartment. I got to go for this walk in the sun. And that's what I did. And now I feel a whole hell of a lot better. So if you're ever not feeling great, getting outside and doing something, especially interacting with other people, will definitely lift your spirits. At least it did mine. In other news, this is day 6. I've been sober for 6 days as of today, which is not really, it's just something I keep track of because, I don't know, it's just something I keep track of. But, the longer you're sober, the better off you'll be in every way. So that's solid. Also just dealing with the stress of a uncertain future, no good paths forward, but trying to continue to make progress, trying to be excited regardless. Maybe try to record a podcast episode today, or turn in that McDonald's application. Things, when I say it out loud like this, it's so much simpler than what it feels like, when it's just in my head. You can really worry about so many different things, but when you actually put it out on paper or think about it methodically, then the problems are so much smaller than they can seem in your head. And this goes back to something I said before, and this is something I think Layla Hormozi says, which is fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. Anxiety is a mile wide and an inch deep, and that's absolutely true. So it's 12:30. I think I'm gonna eat something, hit chest, and just try to be productive today. Trying to eat more today so I'm not so exhausted. But so 2 cans of tuna salad, cup of rice, half a can of beans. Then gonna exercise. Well, this day, there's really no way to sugarcoat it. This day just sucks, man. I woke up at 6 a.m., went to bed early, and did very little until noon or 11 a.m., even passed out on this couch. I was just exhausted. I think that all the physical activity really caught up to me. And yeah, but beyond that, this is something I've been thinking a lot about lately. It's the loneliness of living like this. And I know there's a lot of other people out there who find themselves in similar situations, this lonely. And it really is brutal, man. It really, really is brutal being this lonely. It's very hard to motivate yourself to do anything. But hey, look, if I compare where I'm currently at to where I was just a few weeks ago, I had not started the podcast. I wasn't doing these vlogs. I wasn't lifting regularly. I've lost so much weight. So even though I'm having a really bad day, in comparison to what my best days looked like very recently, fix my hair. In comparison to what my best days looked like within the last even 3 months, this being the worst day I've had in a while is infinitely better than the best day not too long ago. And that's a sign of definite progress. And when I frame it like that, it looks so much different. So it's about raising your baseline, you know, it's about raising your baseline. It's about raising your minimum. You know, I thought about this analogy before I sat down and recorded this. There are some people who making $5,000 in a single day is a bad day for them. A good day might be $10,000 in a single day. You know, that's obviously very, very few people are making that much money. But you get what I'm saying, you get the point here. And the point is that it's all relative, man. It's all relative. Imagine making $5,000 and that being a bad day for you. It can happen. If you ever find yourself in that position, then that might be what a bad day looks like for you. But if I made $5,000 in a day, that'd be the best day I've had in years. You know what I mean? Some people would be the best day of their lives in turn, you know, financially speaking. But yeah, this day absolutely sucks. Even though I just went to the gym and I'm eating healthy and stuff, this day just blows, man. It just freaking blows. And that probably has a lot to do, to be honest with you, with how I've been eating so few calories and doing so much physical activity. Which, speaking of which, I'm tempted to go for a walk right now. I'm like so torn between resting and going for a walk, you know, a really long walk, not just any walk, you know. And once again, the fact that that's the dilemma I find myself in, as opposed to, do I want to buy 2 Four Locos or 3 Four Locos? You know what I mean? I'm raising the baseline, and that is a very good indication of the trajectory that I'm on. There's still a whole lot of shit I need to figure out with regard to my plan. That's ultimately what's stressing me out, to be honest with you, is how expensive everything is and how little earning potential I have. It's just awful. It's just awful, but that's ultimately what motivates me to make these. You know, I'm not out here trying to show you how awesome my life is. If my life was awesome, I wouldn't be making daily vlogs, because I just don't like people that show off like that, you know. It's about documenting the struggle for myself and anyone who's curious, but we'll see how the rest of the day goes. Gonna go for a walk, and I will check the fucking mailbox. This is exactly why I wanted to go for a walk. I wanted to see the sunset. Look at that. Very nice sunset. Look at all that fungal action. Oh yeah, a lot of mushrooms on this freaking stump. Wow, I just wish I had a better camera to capture this better. It's so much better in person. As I reflect on the day, it was solid. Started off very poorly, went poorly for most of it, but I don't know how or from where. I ate a lot more today than I did in days prior, and I also didn't go for that really long walk. And it might be, the really long walks might be coming to an end, because I realized how much more time I had today, how much more energy I had today, and I'm kind of getting pretty lean to where, I don't know. Look, we'll see what happens. But I was just thinking just now about when I was in college before COVID happened and everything got derailed and stuff, and I don't know, just back then, and I was only 17 at this time, mind you. I had never had alcohol, you know, maybe like twice, but it wasn't even a thought in my mind. I didn't think about drinking. I didn't look forward to drinking. It was something I had never really done other than a handful of times, you know, whatever. It wasn't something that was on my radar at all. And I was just sitting here. I was like, you know what? I've been sober for 6 days now. I'm 24. You know, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have some drinks tonight. But then at the same time, I know my life will only get better if I don't have any drinks, but I'm also so bored. But then I thought back to when I was in college and how I would operate then, and I was just operating on such a high level at this time, you know, acing my classes, obviously graduated high school a year early, completely sober off of everything. But I was making lots of progress in life, and I had a rich social life as well. And I was truly locked in at this point in time. And it's just so tragic that all of that was wrecked and taken from me. But you know, that's life. There's nothing I can do about it. But I was just thinking about, I really am, you know, I've mentioned this in prior videos, that I'm trying to put myself in the place or the shoes that the mindset that I have been in days prior, where I was so productive and performing on such a high level, because I ultimately, I know that's where I want to be performance-wise. I know that's when life is the best. That's when I enjoy myself the most. That's when life is the most fulfilling. It's within a rewarding and worthy struggle. And I think a big part of my problem today, or like in the past few years especially, I haven't had a worthy struggle in front of me. It's like, yes, I can work jobs that don't pay particularly well, and I can survive and I can pay bills, but that's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it beyond however it might be necessary. And something that is worth it is going to college and completing college in 3 years, or, you know, building content and like the podcast like I'm trying to do. But that is difficult. And I worked on that today. Admittedly, I worked on episode 4 and I liked what I recorded, but it's just like, I hate what I hate the most is about my current situation. Let me start over. What I hate the most about my current situation is that there's really nothing I can do with my time that feels like it's worth it. And I know that you have to push through that. Everything of value takes time, but it's just like on the day to day, it feels like there isn't so much that I can do. It's like there's hours that I wish I could allocate to something, but I have nothing to allocate them to. And perhaps I need to be patient in understanding that it will take time until I can get to a point where I can fill my schedule to a satisfactory degree. And I'm not like, man, I wish I had something to do. I wish I had something to look forward to. I wish I had something to be working on. But then at the same time, I also know that I can create endless things for myself to work on. There's endless ways I could enrich myself. It's just up to me to do it. And I guess a bigger point here is kind of like, when you don't have somebody directing you, making progress is so hard. It is so hard. It's so hard to determine, not just determine what you should do entirely on your own, but motivate yourself entirely on your own. When you have no one around you guiding you or encouraging you or helping you, and you're not seeing the reward of your effort, and you may never see the reward of your effort. But this is what differentiates, like, this is this mindset, just the fact that I have this mindset, and I've kind of always had this mindset, it differentiates me from people who do just want to get a job and work that for the rest of their lives. I've always wanted more. Always. And it's not some vanity thing like I want to be better than other people. I have always, more than anything in the world, wanted to just completely throw myself at something and work as hard as possible and figure out what my limits are. And in this society, it kind of feels like that's not really possible for a lot of people. And I think that's a flaw in the system. But I hope that in these videos, I document my journey to getting to a place where I am throwing myself 100%, giving everything I can to something I believe in and is worthwhile, because that's all I've ever wanted to do in life. That is literally all. Like, there's like side quests I have, or like other things that like are in my head, like, you know, starting a family, that's in my head, having good friends, that's in my head, you know, making money, that's in my head, you know, stuff like this. But I cannot believe this. Literally, I have not heard them walking around all day, and now apparently they have to do a bunch of walking, but whatever. I want something that, you know, I can really just throw myself at and see what my limits are. And I understand you're probably not going to have that figured out when you're 24. I think you're probably in a pretty good spot if you have that figured out by the time you're 30. But that's all I want, and I'm on the slow but steady path to getting there. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and have a good night.